Everything inside is a fumbling, mumbling look. Cannot coincide, so I'm stumbling, bumbling. Took way too many rides, and I'm thinking I'm sinking a hook. Thinking my drinking was good, sober but wishing I would. Maybe
What's up, YouTube? It's YL, the White Elephant, with another video here from the world of, well, Ark. I almost said Warcraft. I guess I've been doing a lot of WoW videos lately. Anyway, today we're gonna go and do a very special video on the Ragnarok Boss. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment about what kind of videos you'd like to see. For this, you will need a boss team, 18 Rexes, 1 Deodon, 1 Yudi. You'll need some artifacts, and you're gonna need some tributes to be already collected. Artifacts you can get anywhere. I recommend Crystal Isles. But the tributes, you do need to collect those on the map you're going to use them, so make sure you get those on the Ragnarok map if you're going to try doing the Ragnarok boss. Most of the strategy does work for any boss. And in the video you might see my wife running around doing something because she came with me, but this is a solo strategy. Alright, let's look at the Rexes. Now my Rexes have 60,000 health and 2k melee, but really you just need 40,000 health and at least 1.5 melee in order to do this boss. My Deodon is kind of a crap one with 56,000 food and 15k health, but 40,000 food and 15k health will make it easy mode for you. And then I also have this Yudi. It's also kind of crap. You will want at least 25,000 health and 3k stamina. Mine going in will have 30,000 health and 4k stamina. So it is good enough, it's just not the best. Now next you're going to make sure you get some artifacts. You're going to need the artifact of the clever, the cunning, the devious, the devourer, the hunter, the immune, the massive, the pack, the skylord, and the strong. I would definitely collect these on Crystal Isles because you can collect them on any map, and that's just the easiest map to collect them all on. Watch for a future video on where you can find them all. Next you'll need 25 of each of the tributes from the Basilosaur, the Megalania, the Megalodon, the Sarco, the Sauropods, that's Brontos or Diplos, doesn't matter, Spinos, Thylacolios, Titanoboas, and Tusoteuthis. Once you've got all of these different tributes, you're going to put the tributes and the artifacts into the terminal. Place your Rexes in a big circle around the boss terminal. Make sure their feet are actually on the pad. Your Yudi and your Deodon are going to go in the very middle. And make sure that your Deodon is on follow, passive, not quite overloaded with weight with meat, and has passive healing turned on. The maximum for this fight is 20 tames, so be sure you check that you don't have any shoulder pets so you don't leave anyone behind. And last, before the fight, stand on the ground below your tame. Don't ride it because that can make it glitch out. Now, as soon as the fight loads in, you're going to want to make sure you get on your tame right away. You just go ahead and ride it. And make sure you take every opportunity to whistle attack when one of these two bosses land. In this fight, we're gonna have two bosses, the dragon and the Yudi. You're not gonna wanna fight them at the same time, but when you have the opportunity and one lands, take it and attack that one. Now, normally the first thing you're gonna do with this fight is get out of the mob, so you can properly align and control your dinos. On this run, because the Manticore decided to try to take a piece of us right at the beginning, it was a little bit different. But once you get out of that mob, you're gonna roar until all of your dinos glow. Now you're gonna see a little circle above their head. That is indicating that the buff is charging. But as you continue to roar, you will notice that the little circle is going to disappear. And once it disappears, it indicates that that particular Rex has been buffed all the way, just like those two on the left there just did. Every time you see the boss land, and try to do a little bit of damage on him. Oh, looks like a couple of the Rexes got stuck back there on my wife. That's okay. You want to watch your positioning because there is a cluster at the beginning. A couple steps forward, released them all. And otherwise, just keep going around the pack. If you've got the Yudi, you just keep roaring your buff until you see those sweet, sweet Engrams. You will get Engrams for killing the dragon and Engrams for killing the Manticore, so it is pretty cool to kill both of them in this fight and get kind of a 2-for-1. Once you've got one down, you just rinse and repeat on the other one. There's not a whole lot of differences between the two bosses. The Manticore does shoot some poison, so some people like to take a gas mask in. I really don't do that. I just bring a couple of med brews in case I accidentally get hit and don't bother with the mask. The dragon pretty much just shoots fire, which, granted, it can burn some things, But even on alpha with the Ragnarok boss, it's not nearly as bad as it is on the island when you're just like, say, soloing the alpha dragon. You just keep on keeping on. Try to stay out of the poison and or fire, depending on which order you killed them in. Usually, I find that I'm able to kill the dragon first by just kind of moving the group a little bit away from where you first summon and fighting the dragon on the ground right there, and then usually I go into the Manticore next. This run was a little bit different, but it does kind of show you that the strategy for fighting the boss can change a little bit depending on what the AI of the game decides to do. This Manticore was being really annoying, landing over and over and over and taking off, but only being on the ground for a couple of seconds. But I do recommend that you wear some flak for this fight in case you do get caught off your mount. And I generally personally will always bring a couple of different types of weapons and plenty of bullets. Now, the bullets is not necessarily a thing that you have to bring with you, but in the case where it won't land and they're being very annoying, it does help to be able to pop on and off your tame, as you see me doing this run a couple of times, and put a couple of shotgun shells into that pesky flying boss. You will notice that the shotgun shells do a fair amount of damage, so you can actually beat the entire boss with that strategy. It's just going to take a long time, and it is of course much faster to chew on them on the ground with your boss dinos. Usually when I'm going to take on the bosses in Ark, I don't even lose a Rex. That's why I go for that 60,000 health. I know that plenty of forum users and YouTubers and people on Reddit have said that on official they just go ahead and use 40,000 or 45,000 health and a little bit higher melee, and you can do that if you want to, but I find that this boss team is capable of taking on just about every boss in the game, so it is good enough. There we go. And we got our Engrams for killing the Manticore. Now, as soon as the boss is down, you want to get off your tame right away, get into its inventory, and just start dumping all your gear into your tame. It's really important to do this because I have had so many boss fights glitch out at the end, and it makes you die, and then you lose everything that's on you. There's no death bag for you to collect the stuff, you just lose anything that you had, so all your gear, if you had any cryopods. If you're smart, you don't bring anything in cryopods into the boss fight because you will generally lose everything when you die. One of your dinos, whichever one got the killing blow, will have the head trophies and the element, so make sure you go through and check all your dinosaurs for that at the end, and you'll be able to get all that sweet loot. And once you zone back in, you just have to fight to get out of the cluster a little bit. I recommend jumping over and over until you get kind of across all their backs. And there we go. So there you have it. That's the whole fight. Most fights go about like this in Ark, but if you'd like to see a specific one, leave me a comment below about what boss you'd like to see me do. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, alright? Until next time.
In trouble, I come to the phone. Got you in the zone, but you said I'd just leave you alone. Leave you all alone, but I gotta get in the tone. Gotta get in the tone. Maybe my chances are blown. Maybe got a home, but it's falling and stalling at best. Gotta get along, but it's crawling up out of my chest. Wishing it ain't gone, but it's beating and beating so fast.